Yo, welcome to Out of Pocket with RG3, hosted by your boy and the lovely, amazing, 99-time All-American Grete Griffin.
She's white. Let's just be honest. She's white. That's why people have an issue with it. This moment is being used as a lightning rod to bring awareness to the privilege of white women. Apparently, and I've been reading articles about this and comments about this and posts about this, primarily from Black women who claim that Angel Reese is an example of a Black woman who isn't being protected or defended by her own people, by Black men primarily. I've seen a lot of that because you have a lot of us saying it was a basketball play. Many of us who are purists, right, who actually appreciate the sport, and we appreciate Caitlin Clark in her God-given ability. When you mention that as a Black man, there are many Black women who take offense to that because they're looking at you and thinking, I don't care if Angel Reese is the lesser player. Your allegiance should be to her because she's a Black woman.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I just almost passed out. After watching Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul on Angel Reese and the aftermath, there is no way Angel Reese can continue the lie that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark. I know what hatred looks like. Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Not some basketball rivalry hate either. Hate. The reason I said that is because when somebody that you don't like says something to you, you automatically always take it to the most extreme. You always automatically say, oh, they meant to harm me with that statement. But if your friend or somebody you're cool with made that very same statement, none of us would be so quick to run to judgment to say, oh, that was negative. We would question what it was. We would react differently. So why do I think Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark? It could be the fact that Aaliyah Boston had to save Angel Reese from ending her career. This is a still shot. After the foul that Caitlin Clark put on Angel Reese tried to hit her. But if it wasn't for Aaliyah Boston putting her arms in the way, Angel Reese would not be playing basketball anymore because she was going to sucker punch Caitlin Clark. Now, you tell me a time when you've seen somebody get fouled on a basketball court in a professional league where they tried to almost sucker punch somebody that they were friends with. So where was this type of reaction last year when Angel Reese got chokeslammed by Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun? Y'all remember that? She got fouled so hard, they kicked Aaliyah Thomas out the game with a flagrant 2 foul. What did Angel Reese do? Nothing. She didn't get up and try to swing on her. You know why? The reaction was different because of who did it. And there is a lot of history there with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. You guys remember last year when Angel Reese celebrated Kennedy Carter getting that flagrant foul on the hip check against Caitlin Clark? You remember that? On the sideline, just, yeah, baby, get her, you get her. Who celebrates like that for a flagrant foul on another player if they don't dislike that player? Okay, you want some more evidence? Here's some more evidence. Remember last year when they were talking about who gets the credit for the expansion and the eyeballs and the popularity boost of women's basketball? Not just the WNBA, but women's basketball in general, because of the spike in the women's NCAA tournament and WNBA viewership. A lot of people were attributing that to Caitlin Clark, and rightfully so. This is what Angel Reese had to say, and I quote, "People are talking about women's basketball. You never would think they'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to the games."
I think he was being hyperbolic. I don't agree with him fully. I do think that Angel Reese was a part of why we all started watching girl basketball. Her and Caitlin Clark. Like, I remember the first time I heard of either one of them, it was because some on the court beef. And then from there, like, you know, she did something like that. that was the first time I ever heard of them, and everybody was talking about it on Twitter and all of that. So in terms of her feeling a little salty about not being a part of what people attribute the reason the people watching the sport is, I understand it. And I think he was being very hyperbolic when he said that she was about to hit the other girl. I don't think it even got close to anything like that. I think she got fouled. She got up and she looked like she was going to go over there for some smoke. And her teammate got right in there. She never did this. She didn't do none of that. So for him to say she was about to sucker punch her is just like, yo, relax. Like you just putting stuff out there that wasn't necessarily like, I get it if she drew her hand back or something like that. So I don't necessarily agree with him, and it does seem like that he has some sort of thing with Angel Reese, and obviously I would never say it's because of her, she black, but for whatever reason, he got something with Angel Reese.
I wouldn't say she hates her, but Angel Reese is awfully jealous of her. That's what I would say. I don't think it's hate at all. I don't think it has nothing to do with hate. I don't think she hates her. I think she's jealous of her for a lot of reasons. Because she's get a lots of attention, and every time she's trying to say something, she always trying to include herself into it. And truth be told, Angel Reese is not that good. She's a hell of a rebound. Look, you know what she is to me? She's a female version of Draymond Green. That's what she is. She's a female version of Draymond Green. That's all she is. You know what I'm saying? But like he said, against the Suns, the Phoenix team, she didn't want no smoke there. And I've seen a couple other games, she didn't want no goddamn smoke. Her teammates don't even halfway like her. Angel Reese's teammates don't even rock with her like that. You can just tell by the chemistry with her, they really don't rock with her. She's not a good shooter. She doesn't score a lot. She gets a lot of rebounds. You know, she rebounds over 30% of her own misses. 30% of her rebounds for missed shots from her. That's crazy. So, again, I don't think she's that good. I just think she's jealous of Caitlin Clark. That's just my opinion. I don't think she hates her. I don't think has nothing to do with hate, nothing like that. Now, as far as the flagrant foul and all that, I don't think it was a flagrant. I just think it was a hard foul. I mean, y'all WNBA fans, ladies, y'all want to get paid and move and operate like the NBA. That means y'all got to do the fouls and all that like the NBA. That looked like a typical foul you see in a high school basketball game. I mean, stop somebody from getting a damn near easy shot. Send it to the free throw line. That's the same thing. We've seen it at the NCAA tournament. Towards the end of the game, they fouling on purpose to try to stop the clock. That's the same type of foul that was. She kind of flirted up a little bit and threw her hands, looking like a LeBron flopping and shit. But I don't think it was worth the flagrant. And I don't think she was going to get to the point, Angel was going to get to the point of drawing back and hitting her. I didn't see that. Maybe he was going to push her, had some shit to say to her, and it'd be done. But that's just my opinion.
If you guys are just tuning in, this is RG3. He is going over right now the play that happened against Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. This is his take on how he feels about Angel Reese.
We got celebrities coming to the game, sold out arenas just because of one single game. Just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on to be that for my teammates. I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, the reason we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too. I want y'all to realize that. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that I or others have made Angel Reese the villain. Did you not just hear herself call herself the bad guy? She called herself the villain. I'm not making her the villain. She's making herself the villain. And guess who her eyes are on at all times? Caitlin Clark. There's an image from this opening game when Caitlin Clark hits a beautiful fadeaway three-pointer, and the camera pans to Angel Reese, and you would have thought she saw the devil. Scolding looking at Caitlin Clark. Mad as hell. That's the look you give somebody that you like, that you have respect for. These are the kind of statements that you're making for someone that you like, that you have respect for. Okay, so then what happened when they asked her about that this year? Because it is true. Caitlin Clark has been the reason for the rise in viewership. But Angel Reese also has a hand in it, just not as big of a hand as Caitlin Clark. So a reporter asked her, hey, you made these comments last year. Can you comment on that now? What do you think what the outlook of women's sports and women's basketball looks like now? You know what Angel Reese did? She said, next question. She refused to answer a question about something that she said about Caitlin Clark, not something that the reporter put into her vernacular or into her mouth and made her seem like she said it. She said it.
Drama sells. Drama sells. Drama is going to bring in the ratings. This has always been a part of entertainment. So just seeing how she did foul, I wouldn't have been surprised if one of the higher ups gave a call down and needed to amplify the situation a little bit more. It's just like human anatomy. When she had her, when Reese had her first situation with the first athlete, she didn't escalate the altercation because she knew if it did escalate, she might lose. She knew she had the upper hand against Clark. So, I mean, we see that in everyday, in our regular walk of life where somebody is going to bully somebody that's a little bit smaller than them, or they feel like, they just got the upper hand on them. So I don't believe it was all that hatred in between there that the guy was referring to. It's entertainment, so they have to sell something. And like Daddy was saying, like, we wouldn't have never even heard of Reese if it wasn't for the drama that was taking place in the beginning. So her name is always revolving around drama, not anything great that she's doing.
Track
Quick
beats. What you
question
call
for
him?
you.
What's that?
Who you said, like, who was saying?
Oh, real. I only caught that last part. Pause. Yeah, pause on
That
that.
Oh,
Yeah. That's pause. Yeah,
I had
but
a quick question, y'all. So he mentioned this was speaks to him being hyperbolic. He mentioned that if she retaliated, that she was on her way, she would have been out of the league. I don't watch girl basketball. Is
yeah,
that true? If she hit her, they'd have got her out of the league.
No, Bobby Portis punched somebody in the NBA, and that didn't happen.
No, maybe suspended her for a couple games, but they wouldn't have put her out of the league.
She bringing too much money to get them out, like to take her out the league. They getting a lot of viewership,
If
meaning
they
their
would've-
ratings going up, meaning they're making more money from her being there.
They would have been mad that they hit their number one moneymaker, though, if she would have hit Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark is the face of the league.
Yeah.
And if anything, I feel like Angel Reese missed a huge opportunity to make the WNBA worth watching by swinging on her. Because since she didn't, I mean, that there's not going to be many other opportunities in this, 34-game season that more people would have wanted to watch, or they could have added viewers if Angel Reese would have sacrificed herself and swung on Caitlin.
I don't know about that. It would have really hurt her if she had did that. Look, they don't want to see women fight. Nobody wants to see women fight.
Nobody wants to see women playing basketball. But
Man, they got whole shows that's just women fighting.
Here we are.
They love
but unfortunately, that's how people watching that bullshit, though, Marcus.
I only seen the highlights. I don't even keep up with WNBA, so
I don't either. But I do watch college, women's college. I think WNBA is trash. I watch women's college all day.
I agree.
But this WNBA shit, I wouldn't watch it for the shit.
All right, go ahead, Corey.
She's white. Let's just be honest. She's white. That's why people have an issue with it. This moment is being used as a lightning rod to bring awareness to the privilege of white women. Apparently, and I've been reading articles about this and comments about this and posts about this, primarily from Black women who claim that Angel Reese is an example of a Black woman who isn't being protected or defended by her own people, by Black men primarily. I've seen a lot of that because you have a lot of us saying it was a basketball play. Many of us who are purists right, who actually appreciate the sport, and we appreciate Caitlin Clark in her God-given ability. When you mention that as a black man, there are many black women who take offense to that because they're looking at you and thinking, I don't care if Angel Reese is the lesser player. Your allegiance should be to her because she's a black woman. And so that play, although it was a simple basketball play, it's being used now, in my opinion, again, as a lightning rod to spark a larger conversation about white privilege and the lack, again, of respect and humanity that black women feel they do not get from society at large, and particularly from black men. That's what I'm seeing. And I don't agree with it.
So I'm curious, how did you pull that from that clip?
Because that clip has sparked a lot of debates. And I'm seeing a lot of, in these comment sections, in these threads, you have black men defending Caitlin Clark in that play. And you have black women, right, responding by saying, well, as a black man, right, you should automatically look at an Angel Reese, right, and jump to her defense no matter how she reacted. I think we can all agree on this panel that she overreacted to the play. And we can also say that the play itself is being overblown, particularly by the media, right? Now, obviously, they need ratings, and this is a chance for them to get that. But I think the larger point is, right, it's being used, this example, as, again, a lightning rod to spark conversations about black men not coming to the defense of black women. In this particular play, you have a white woman and a black woman who clearly don't like one another, but it seems like the majority of black men, right, are giving Caitlin Clark the benefit of the doubt, and that is a problem for black women. I've seen this.
Benefit of the doubt. What is she didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Just playing
That's
basketball.
what we're saying. We're saying she didn't do anything. It was a basketball play.
Yeah.
I'm saying that when you say that as a black man, right, you are called. I mean, I'm not going to put any names out there, but I'm saying as a black man, if you're saying, look at LeBron James, he took a photo with Caitlin Clark, and they got on his case. RGIII highlighted some points that were valid. He's being called a traitor, an Uncle Tom, a coon, right? Ryan Clark went out, and I'm kind of jumping the gun here, but Ryan Clark literally tweeted and said, because RG3 is married to a white woman, he's not aware of the struggles of black women. How are you associating all of this with a simple basketball play? I'm seeing plenty of examples of this popping up all over social media.